wondering how the hell did these guys, where do they find their balance? They changed the front wing. They didn't change the structure of the front wing. It became more flexible. You
Yeah,
know,
it's more of a flex viewing, yeah.
FIA conceded that you can do that if the front wing starts to behave more like something that's flexible, and as long as it's not DRS because it's a front wing, it's not a DRS thing. If it was in the back, they couldn't make alterations. You can do that as long as you don't make any changes on the visible physical structure within their rules. And that addition of that thing has helped them deal with high speed oversteer and low speed understeer because it's flexible. And I think probably McLaren has that same thing on their front wing, but the difference is that McLaren tinkered with their ride height and now they're behind. And also, McLaren doesn't have the engine powertrain that Ferrari has, so they've lost their advantage. I think right now they're the fastest car in Formula One. They still have problems with one lap speed, but they have great race pace, and so they're still going to struggle with qualifying. But right now, they probably have the fastest car on track, and McLaren probably still has the best balance and tire deg, but they don't have the same race pace as Ferrari.
I think the like you were saying, the magic is somewhere in the front wings.
Yeah.
I think McLaren's front wing has always been a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of how it directs air around the tires in order to preserve them. And of course, there's been this issue of flexibility that's allowed them to
To deal with
acquire
both
more balance.
the back tire and the front tire, the oversteer and the understeer.
Yeah. Thing that the FIA would do to test those things is just like they do weighted tests.
Yeah.
So if the wing can handle a certain amount of weight without bending beyond a certain point, then it is allowed.
Yeah. But here's the question.
So,
Why don't they just use something that puts enough forces on it to mimic the high speed of the car? Then they find it. You get my point. That's
yeah,
why I said
yeah.
it's like
I mean
FIA, they're thieves.
yeah. I mean, that was the issue with the mini DRS rear wing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was testing.
But
Uh,
here's the thing, their justification is that the DRS helps you pass people, but the one in the front doesn't help you pass people. It's more of actually if you're ahead or just handling the corner. But yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. It helps you handle cornering more
It's still an advantage. Yeah, yeah.
a little bit better. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. So those are the things that made McLaren strong, and I know a lot of the teams then started following that development trend.
Hmm.
Um, there are these kind of like side elements on the wing itself, on the edges, that turn and create these vortices. I think that
Yeah, they did
that
make some. They did make some physical changes, but within the spec
yeah,
allowances.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
I, I remember
I don't mean visible,
reading,
outward changes. Yeah.
yeah, I remember reading that McLaren, I mean Ferrari was going to go in the same direction as well with their front wing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, but in as far as I understand, I mean they just tweaked things here and there, and they didn't bring a lot of huge updates
Yeah,
to
they
the car.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we said in the last show that they've been performing that way since Monza.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's how they were so competitive at Baku. They would have been just as competitive at Singapore had they qualified much better.
Yeah. And
Um,
I think also what
so
it is that they had less issues. They already have a powerful train. They have a pretty decent anti-heating system and
sure.
everything. So by making that one little change with the front wing, and also by making mostly with that, that now they're complete. I still don't believe McLaren is not a complete car because they don't have a powertrain. That's just all it. They were relying off of balance and ground forces, but now the other teams have handled the ground force. So now McLaren has to deal with their issue that they don't have flat out horsepower.
I think um, they're still good on pace,
Yeah, but the
regardless
question
of
is their pace a function
having a
of
weaker.
the question is their pace a function on less tire deg with each lap and also more balance, or is it a function of power? You get my point. And now that other teams have dealt with balance, their advantage in pace is lost now. Whereas
Uh,
Ferrari's advantage in pace is due to their power. And also right now
sure.
Ferrari may even have better aerodynamics than McLaren right now. I don't know.